faint sounds of subway trains, city ambience, a lighter flicks, someone beatboxing in the distance.
Hey yo, gather round, let me put y'all on. See, the game ain't just about paper, it's about legacy. You stacking bills or building empires. You reading signs or stuck reading headlines. It's time to elevate, knowledge reborn. Feel me? Shout out to Shy Bliss, Mama T. Hey yo, I came from the dirt where the lost ones lurk. Now I channel Sirius when I put in this work. From the street lights to the starlight, knowledge divine. Got the whole zodiac mapped out my mind. 777s when I shuffle, every move is a line. Had to break free, cut the chains on my mind. You see they trap us in illusions, keep the wisdom diluted. But I'm building like the Moors did, all black suited. Running numbers like Pythagoras, adding up digits. Turn a cipher to a temple, got the ancestors with us. This that Pharaoh flow, deep like the metronome. Boom bap, quantum math, every bar set in stone. We was born in the fire, raised in a storm. But the knowledge stays sacred, the wisdom stays strong. Turn the pain into gold, let the lessons live on. We the lost now found, it's the knowledge reborn. We was born in the fire, raised in a storm. But the knowledge stays sacred, the wisdom stays strong. Turn the pain into gold, let the lessons live on. We the lost now found, it's the knowledge reborn.
Peace to all of the divine primordial deities. Y'all already know what it is. I am not here for the dead. I am only here for the awakened. If it resonates, let it marinate. If it don't apply, let it fly. Now let's get deep. Now I'm about to get ready to break some things down. So I hope that you are going to be able to pick up what I am about to get ready to put down. You ain't gonna hear this nowhere else. And the way I am about to break this down, I am about to give you some divine insight on the Anunnaki and on Tiamat and on Kingu. So pull up a chair and let's get into it. Tiamat. Who is Tiamat? Now you have everybody talking about Tiamat is the earth. But if you read clearly with divine insight, you will see that Tiamat is not the earth. She is the primeval waters. She is the waters of chaos. She is also called Namu in Sumeria, which Namu is the primordial waters, which means the mother of all. She is the dragon. She is Leviathan. She is the sea dragon that moves upon the face of the waters that was spoken of in Genesis. She is also called Typhoon. She is Apep in Egypt mythology. In Greek, she is Chaos, the goddess Chaos, which everything started with chaos. She's also called Typhoon, who was defeated by Zeus, the monster. Tiamat is spoken of through all mythology as the antagonist or the monster or the beast. That is the matriarch, which is the great mother. The Typhonian and Draconian realm is the realm of the mother and the oldest concept of God. The patriarch, which is the Anunnaki, have turned her and deemed her to be evil. And the Anunnaki is the ones who created the patriarchal systems to go against the matriarch. So in the stand, Tiamat is the key to this whole thing, her and her son, Kingu, King, the moon deity that is called Sandra in Hinduism. And understand that King is the name of a soma plant, which is a part of the ritual drinks that the deities create to bestow immortality upon them and to gain all knowing. So understand, Kingu is none other than symbolic of the intelligence, which is chaos, which is what we are created out of. And the soma plant is the neurons in the brain, the synapses which transfer information throughout the brain that produces neuromelanin. That's why it's called neuromelanin, because the soma plants is in the brain. Tiamat is not earth. Let's make that clear. Tiamat is what gave birth to Ka, and Ka in Sumeria means earth. Tiamat is not the mother of the Anunnaki. She is the great-great-grandmother of the Anunnaki. Let me break it down. Tiamat created the first gods from her and Amsu, which was Lamu and Lahamu. And from them, they created the second generations of gods. From that second generation, they gave birth to Anu, which is sky. And Anu represents the sperm, which is the physical seed, not the primordial seed. There's two Anus. There's a primordial Anu, and there is a Anu, which is the physical Anu, that bonded with earth to create the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki comes from Anu and earth. We don't come from earth. We were birthed from the waters of chaos. We emerged from the divine. And we carry the original primordial seed, which comes from the Great Mother, because she is the only one that can pass down that primordial seed, which is the divine seed. The divine feminine is the only one who carries the feminine gateway, which is chaos, that can pass the soul down, which is the divine spark. We, as the divine beings and primordial beings, which is the descendants of Tiamat and Kingu, because out of the blood of Kingu, which is Soma, the intelligence, which is chaos, is what the Anunnaki created humans out of, and trapped that intelligence within the physical body by combining Ka, which is earth, with the blood of Kingu. And this is why some of you confuse us with being the Anunnaki. All of the beings that originally existed on the planets, which is planes, were all Titans. This is even spoken about in the holy tablets of Dr. Malachi and also other ancient information. The Titans and celestial beings that rules the universe, not the earthly realm. The Anunnaki had dominionship over this realm because they was the earthly beings that was created from Anu, which is the sky god, which we're talking about the sperm. Anu represents the sperm, the seed, which also was a part of the physical element that connected with the earth element, Ka, to create them. We come from Tiamat, the original seed that was trapped within these physical bodies. So the potter in the clay was the Anunnaki, okay, taking the clay with the blood of Kingu, which is the intelligence, trapping us inside these physical bodies. So they was the potter, and the clay was the earth that they mixed Kingu blood with to create us, to trap us inside of these bodies. That intelligence. Now, understand that Dr. Malachi talks about the spell of Kingu, which is the spell of the Leviathan, that put us up under a hypnotic state, which a trance, and trance in etymology means to cross over. So understand, when they trap that intelligence inside of the clay, which is the earth, the physical body, mixed us with Kai, we went into a deep sleep, because that's what the spell was all about, putting us in a deep sleep. Because we wasn't physical beings, we was primordial beings. So moving from one state to another is what caused us to fall into a deep sleep, comatose state. And then they used religion, which was created by the Anunnaki, to further that sleep by putting us deeper into a trance to cross us over into oblivion. Tiamat granted Kingu the power and gave him the 7 tablets of destiny, which she gave him all the wisdom to rule the universes and the power to rule over the younger gods, which was the Anunnaki. The 7 tablets of destiny is the Akasha records that we have. That's where all the knowledge is within us. We was the ones that carried the staff of Tahuti, and the staff of Tahuti is wisdom and knowledge, which is the pineal and the spine. That's the staff. And we was the possessors of all the knowledge. Understand, a king cannot become a king unless he has a queen. Kingu is the king, and you can only be a king if you have Soma, which is neuromelanin in the brain. And Tiamat granted him and bestowed that power upon him. She gave Kingu key to everything. The Anunnaki was never granted that power and kingship. We was granted that power and kingship. And this is why in Dr. Malachi's holy tablets, we are considered the disagreeables, and they are considered the agreeables. Why? Is because they are controlling the narrative, and they control the patriarchal system that produces the hate for the matriarch. So of course they're going to say they are the agreeables. And indeed, they are the disagreeables. And the only reason why we are the disagreeables is because we went against everything that they did, which was wrong. And we was protecting the matriarch. That is our job, to protect mama, which is our real mom, which is none other than their great-great-grandmother. not the actual mother. Marduk killed Kingu and created us out of that intelligence to trap the intelligence into the clay, which is the physical bodies, which is matter. Kingu was never an Anunnaki. He was a primordial being of chaos. He was a deity. And Marduk, which is the Anunnaki, they stole our birthright and stole the Akasha records. This is why we must gain the knowledge and elevate so we can open up the Akashas and get back the knowledge that was bestowed upon us, kingship over it all. So in all actuality, they are our great-great-grandchildren who we are going to war with, who stole our birthright. Understand, King is Kingu, which is the lunar god. This is why I've been trying to tell y'all we are the moon people. And King represents the celestial moon because we are celestial beings, which Kingu is Luna. That's his other name or her other name because chaos, understand, which is we are chaos beings, the primeval sea, is none other than the feminine gateway. And they don't possess that power. This is why they want to trap it and utilize it for their own benefit. I'll be back with a part 2 for this. Peace to all of the divine primordial deities.
Wait, hold on now. Hold on. Hold on. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the Stella Maris podcast. I am your hostess with the most. It's your girl, Shy Bliss, aka Mama T, in the building. We're gonna set it off straight off the rip. Straight off the rip. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. I need to know if the sound is right. Put a 1 in the chat. Yeah. All right. All right. Listen, I'm not even going to hold y'all. You see how we started it off. Without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage my girl, Calm 4. I'm sorry to bring it to life. Welcome to the Stella Maris podcast, sis. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. Let me see that. Get to the comment section because I don't even see what's going on. There we go.
Listen, a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot. I turn it on. I can't even because I got to focus. I got to focus. Listen.
Right.
You always coming out the gate swinging.
It's about connecting the dots.
And you do it very well. You do it very well. See, you know, some people are indoctrinated, right? And it doesn't matter where the doctrines are coming from. It can be Christianity, Islam,
right,
Judaism, Hindu, Buddhism, Yorkism, whatever the case may be, and they get wrapped up in the doctrine.
Yes.
But you decode the doctrines.
Yes.
And I appreciate that about you. I appreciate the knowledge that you bring. And I love the way you break the shit down. And it's like storytelling, honey. You got a little Mama T in you with the storytelling.
Right.
And it's fascinating. So when I saw this video, I haven't seen you in a while, right? Welcome back to the scene. And when that popped up on my feed, because I'm not on TikTok that much anymore either. But when that popped up, I said, hold on. Hey, let me see here. Hold on. Let me play that one more again because we get one side of the story, right? As always, right?
As always.
And look, you look a few months back. First of all, I want to say I've always been Team Tiamat, Team Titan, right? Always, that's the great mother. That's who I roll with all day, every day, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've been around for a little bit, and I've watched all the different groups of people come up and talk about patriarchy in many different forms, many different fashions. And then when the I call it Anunnakiism hit hard, like especially during, I mean, it's always, those who know, but then when it became like this mainstream thing on social media, like around COVID, it was an explosion of it. And it just never really jived with me all the way, right? And so, I sat back and I watched who, presents it. Because I think many of us, we're searching for ourselves, right? We're
Hmm.
trying to find our story. And in the
Yeah.
process of us awakening, right, we get bombarded with doctrines, but that's all we have to
Yes.
find out our ancient mystery.
Hmm.
So when I see young Black women, and we're not Black, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Come on the scene with such intelligence, speaking in such an articulate manner, making sense out of it, not
Hmm.
necessarily jumping on the bandwagon, but looking underneath the hood
Yes.
of this wagon
Hmm.
and breaking that shit down in a way that's making people think twice
Hmm.
about the story.
About the story.
So I'm gonna shut my damn mouth now, and I'm gonna let you step on the scene. But I want to ask you because I was confused about the spell of Kingu.
About Kingu.
Right. For a
Okay.
long time, we got one side of the story, and when you broke it down, you were saying the spell of Kingu is like the same as the spell of Leviathan,
Yeah. The spell of Leviathan. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Never equated the two. I never looked at the two as one and the same.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to hear your take on this. And when you broke it down, you saying it wasn't a spell that Kingu cast. It was a spell more like that was cast on him in the descendants of.
Yes. The sleep, because it was the transitioning over from one phase to another.
Mhm.
So understand the blood is a physical and a spiritual conduit between the physical and spiritual realm. So it's always dealing with the blood.
Right.
Okay. And the blood is also a connection to semen. So when you speak about the blood and how Kingu was slayed, because Kingu also represents the soma, the intelligence.
Mhm.
So you got to think about it. We're transitioning over from a higher state into a lower state. That automatically puts us in a state of sleep because we're no longer vibing at that higher state of consciousness anymore. We're not in that realm. Everything changes, even the elements. So now we drop down to a lower state. Automatically, we fall into a state of sleep. It's a comatose state. And this is why they stated that we died spiritually.
Mhm.
So by us coming and crossing over, going through that phase, it was a death phase. And so we
Wow.
went to sleep. And so
We
by the
went to sleep
Anunnaki,
or were we rocked to sleep?
yeah, by the Anunnaki creating religion, that was a way to enforce us to keep us asleep
Mhm.
because religion is not there to awaken you. It's there to put you to sleep, all
Right.
right, and to govern the psyche, not to awaken you, but to further your sleep. So
Mm.
by us being in that state of sleep and we're not being taught our ancient knowledge and not being able to evolve because we're being suppressed, the psyche is being suppressed dealing with religion, there's no way of waking.
Right.
So when they talk about the Kingu spell, it's not that it's his spell, it's what we experienced. The sleep
Right.
of dying,
Yeah.
okay, spiritually being slain before the foundations of the earth and coming into the physical.
I say.
So that was trauma. That was a
Mm.
lot being done, transitioning from a spiritual state to a
Mhm.
higher state to a physical state. The physical plane is the lowest plane to exist on. Everything
Right.
changes.
Condensed. Right. Right.
So you're no longer in
Vibration
that
slows
spiritual
down.
realm, So
Yeah.
everything completely changes. You're not even in the realm. The frequency is not even the same. You have to get on the frequency of the physical realm that you're on. You have to connect with that frequency.
How do you
So
think
whatever
you felt?
consciousness the frequency is on in that dimension, you
Yeah.
eventually have to adapt to it
What
because
is your take? I'm sorry. I don't
no,
mean to
you
cut your
good, you
wisdom
good.
system. What is your take on? Because you said that the Anunnaki were Tiamat's great great
The
grandchildren.
great great grandchildren.
How did this happen? What is your take on? Explain that to me.
Now, I have been studying the
Mhm.
Sumerian text for a while,
Okay.
and I have been studying Greek mythology, actually all mythologies, because we got to understand that mythology is historical facts with high principles. And that's the closest you're going to get to the truth. You got to go back to the ancient texts.
Right.
So I'm sitting here reading and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You know, how could Tiamat be their mother? And it's stated that they come from Kai. Because when you break down Anunnaki, that's Anu, and then Kai is Earth, right? And
Right.
then I went to looking into Greek mythology. I said, hold on, wait a minute. She had these divine beings beforehand, and then she created more beings. And then from these pairs of beings came forth Anu. And so Anu parents ain't Tiamat. Anu parents come from Lahu and Lamu. So I said, hold on, them her grandchildren. And I'm like, why ain't nobody ever called that? Them her great grandchildren. And so going back into listening to, I call him my father, my spiritual father, Bobby. And when I was listening to stuff, I said, what? He said the same thing. I said, so the divine had me on the right path. Because Bobby always say that we are at war with our kids. And that's true. They are our kids. And so when you look at mythology, it is a cycle of the younger gods attacking the elders and slaying them and taking the throne in all religions. So when you see that throughout all religions, you're like, okay, this is facts because it is something that is in all mythologies and it doesn't miss a beat because it's the same thing. If you go to every mythology, it's always the kids overthrowing their parents.
Right. The whole
But in the
Chronos and things
right in Chronos,
Yeah.
Cronus took off, castrated his father Uranus.
Yeah.
From Uranus, semen that hit the earth produced the fairies and the giants. Then, after Cronus did that, he tried to prevent the same thing being done to him by eating his children. Okay, to stop it from happening. Zeus came back after he got older. Okay, after he got took away in swaddling clothes. What that put you in the mind of? Christ, right? Jesus.
Same story over
Same
again.
story, right?
Yeah.
Brought him back, and what they do? Create a concoction to get him to throw up the children that he ate.
Right.
And they went to war with the elders.
Yeah.
The kids. He came back to take his father out. The Titans is us. We the elders. And the same story is being done, but they leave out the mama in Greek mythology. And in the Samaria text, she's Namu, which she's the mother of all. And then in dealing with the Babylonian myth, dealing with Mesopotamia, she's this evil. She's wicked. We got to take her out. So that's what a civil war. This is an eternal war that has been going on forever between chaos and order.
Since she had these kids.
Since she had these, right, exactly.
Right.
And her kids had some bad grandkids. And so it was her grandbabies who wanted to take the throne, in their mind, suppressing chaos. They wanted to bring order to it, to the feminine energy.
Right.
You understand? So when we look at the patriarch, the first two words of it is pa, that's father. Patriarch means lineage or the descendants of the father. So Marduk is what brought forth this patriarchal system. And in what he was trying to do was to bring order, or what they would call the Mayat, right? To balance things out. But instead, it wasn't a balance because they still left the great mother out of the whole thing. So it was never a balance in the universe. And this is why everything has been an imbalance ever since, because the original cosmic order was Tiamat and her divine children, which was the Titans or the primordial beings or the monstrous beings. They always existed.
You know, in your video, the second one, I didn't get to play that yet. You mentioned the 12 Titans.
The 12 Titans.
Right. And you mentioned you equated her to the 13th and the 13th sign.
Yeah.
Zodiac, right?
Ophiuchus.
So, Ophiuchus. Now, when you said that, a light bulb went off because a few months ago I was working on this presentation and I had a crown load that I said, the 12 archetypes are the 12 zodiac signs,
Yes, they are.
right? And so when we want to define, I look at everything astrologically for me
Hmm.
through my lens, right? And when I start looking at that, and I was like, so when you look at the story of Marduk and Tiamat, like he's known to be the one to conquer her, right?
To
And to
conquer
sever
her.
her
Yeah.
body and spread it all over and create the universe and things
Hmm.
of that
Yeah.
nature. And when I saw that in my third eye, I said, no, they created, it seemed like she transmuted herself into the constellations,
Indeed.
right? And in through the constellations, she's still giving birth through to us through the constellation. So when you have an archetype, oh, I'm a Cancer, or I'm a Scorpio, I'm a Sagittarius. What you're actually saying is that's the one of the archetypes of her. The energy that you are transmuting or it displaying is from that constellation, from her divisions, or when she multiplied herself. Because you can't kill a primordial being. She's
All you
just
can
gonna
do is make her
transmute
transmute and
right into
transform to
multi-dimensional.
something else.
That's
Right,
it.
exactly.
Right.
And so, yeah,
So yeah, so break that down. Tap into that a little bit for me about Ophiuchus being the 13th sign and how that equates to the Titans.
Ophiuchus is the 13th sign, which is the serpent that deals with the dragon.
Mm,
And many often don't talk about the 13th zodiac sign. It
right.
tends to get looked over.
Mhm.
But the 13th zodiac sign represents the great mother. And what connected me, all right, and what got, well, not connected me, but what had me connect that to that is because she had 11 children, okay, that came directly from her, okay, that came directly from the dark waters, which is the waters of chaos, the primeval waters. And Kingu also represents that intelligence, chaos. He's pure chaos.
So
Okay.
he's the chaos,
So
not the
he is
not
chaos.
her.
He is the intelligence. Yes. He is pure neuromelanin.
Okay.
If you get the book, it's called The Rig Veda. This is a
Okay.
very good book by Wendy O'Flera. It's another book that's called The Hindu Myths by Wendy O'Flera. The only
What's the
way that
title of that again? Can you repeat that title again?
it is called The Hinduism Myths.
Okay.
And King Soma, she is called King Soma, which is her other name is called Sandra. She's a moon goddess.
Mm.
Okay. And
Like
so she represents,
Chandra,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And Soma, which is King Soma, represents the neuromelanin, or what they would call the sacred food of the matrix, or the ritual drink that they would drink to gain immortality.
Mm.
Okay, and give them all knowing. So it's an intelligence. Okay. So that's what Kingu represents. So an only way for you to be a king is you have to have Soma, and you have to have this Soma plant. And the Soma plant is in the brain. It's the dendrites, which is the roots in the brain to the neurons, to your neuromelanin. Okay,
Mm.
that transport information throughout the brain, your angels or your angles of light.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. I say.
and that is the Soma that is in the brain,
Mm.
deep cavity of the brain. It's also in the substantia nigra, where you heard Christ say, Satan, get behind me. He's talking about the substantia nigra, which is the neuromelanin in the brain. Okay, that's nothing but melanin,
Okay.
which is what they would call shadow. Another name for melanin is called shadow. But that's how I connected the two, because she had 11 children, and Kingu was a part of that, became her consort. Okay. And she would be the 13th, which she is the queen of all. And so that's how I connected that together with them being together, because those was the only ones that was going against the Anunnaki. It was 13 of them, just
Mm.
13. It was her, Kingu, and the army, which was the Titans. And so that calculated up to 13. And she would have been the 13th one. So they all went to civil war with the Anunnaki.
So when they say the Anunnaki are returning, the return, and their planet Nibiru travels along this ecliptic. My question is, if you're returning, did you originate here?
The
How does
thing
this?
is,
Yeah.
let me break that down because I didn't get a chance to do a third video.
Okay.
And I think, we doing this interview, and I said, okay, I can talk about it on there. But this is what I want to share with you.
Okay.
There were two creations in the Bible. If you go to Genesis and read about the 6th day and the 7th day, it talks about the 6th creation that was made by God. And then there was another creation that was created by Lord God. Now, understand that the great mother is in the Bible, and she is described as being the Lord of righteousness. Okay. So understand the God that's in that Bible is your demiurge, which represents your Anunnakis. Okay. And they created mankind. Okay. And so they was the 6th creation. Okay. Now I know you're like, well, what you mean by mankind?
Break it down.
Mankind is those that are not,
Kind of man.
huh?
Is it a kind of man?
Yeah, kind of man, those who do not have a soul.
Mm.
Okay, they are different from us. We have a different origin of a soul because the soul means Solomon, which means the soul is divine. Okay, and the Solomon means the soul of man, which is God. And I try not to use God because I'm gonna get into that to tell y'all why we should try not to use the word God, because we are not gods. We are primordial deities. Okay, so now hold up.
You can
Okay,
share
so
your
yeah,
screen
so
if you.
mankind is those who lack the divine spark. Okay, and that's even those who look like us. They will be even considered part of mankind because we share the same meat suit. Does not mean we are the same because it's not what's external; it's what's internal, right?
Would that be considered like clones or some sort of a genetically modified being, so to speak?
Yes, you have the clones, and the Anunnaki also created the counterfeit being, which is they participated in the cloning. So there is the mankind, those who have hair like animals, and I just want to be careful when I say this
I
because
know
I
you're
don't
talking about.
offend anybody.
Mhm.
But they have hair like animals, and those are the ones that was also created by them. Now, this is what I do want to say, and I want y'all to hear me clear. And only those who understand me is going to understand what I'm finna get ready to say. Now, if you was listening to the video, I stated that we were made up out of the same clay. And I understand throughout mythologies, it's always the slain and the blood or the semen hitting the earth. The spirit shared with me, and I have to share this with you. The Anunnaki did not technically create us. And I know you like, but what do you mean? Break it down for me, the messenger. They set up the environment for it to happen. They slayed Kingu, and Kingu blood connected with Kai and bonded with Kai and impregnated Kai. And that's how we manifested. Now, the same thing in Greek mythology when the Titans were slayed and Prometheus was giving the job to create humans. Out of the ashes and the blood of the Titans, humans were created. No, the deeper meaning to that is the blood that hit the earth is what caused us to manifest, and the elements is what brought forth us. So they didn't create us, they just set up the atmosphere for it to happen. And understand, blood is a spiritual and physical conduit between the two dimensions. Okay. And so that's what happened. And so I want y'all to understand that. Now, as far as the whole thing dealing with Anunnaki, and I want to break this down because we got to forever break this down. These bodies are avatars. These are not our real bodies. And they basically, the word Anunnaki, I'm going to say is very generic. And the reason why, because the more I research, the more I'm starting to understand, is that anybody that comes into this physical realm that connects with Kai, they will label them as being the Anunnaki because we share in the same clay. But the thing is what was mixed with that clay is what separate the two.
Mm.
We come from the primordial seed of Tiamat, okay?
Okay.
That was passed down through Kingu. That's why they say we are the descendants of Kingu. Understand? We got slain before the foundations of the earth. And then we came into the physical. So that was also a form of death. Transitioning over. We weren't never in the physical.
Mm.
So when the slaying took place and the blood connected with the earth, that's what allowed us to manifest and come here. And this is how the intelligence got trapped into the physical. It's because they slain Kingu and that blood hit the earth, which is Ka, which is not our mother. Okay? Which
Right.
is their
So Kai, so basically, let me see if I get this straight. After how can I put it, murder of Tiamat, and when she was transmuted, fraction of that became what we call Kai.
Yes, because Ka was birthed from her. That transmutation caused her to give birth to Ka, Anu, and everything else. This
Mm.
is why this is called the Matrix, which is a ram full of her tricks, because the biggest secret is she still run it all. We just finally came back into the knowledge of her and who she is, which brought her back in the fold of things, which means that chaos has entered back into the fold of things, that power.
Mm.
Before then, it was suppressed, and we was unaware
Right.
of
Yeah.
how powerful she was, and that she was the key to this whole thing. So she's sitting back waiting for her babies to wake up,
To wake up, I say,
so
and
that way she can
reconnect.
operate through you.
Right on.
Because you in the physical, she was slain, and now she done gave birth to all of these different things. She
Mhm.
has been divided within
Different.
herself. And so
Right
when
on.
you are
Yeah.
divided within yourself, you cannot stand. We are her
Mm.
warriors, and her
Mm.
fight is going to come through us. Because understand, a house that is divided within itself cannot stand.
Mhm.
Understand, that's why we are considered her warriors and her voice. That's why she's operating through us. Because none of
Indeed.
this would not exist if she would have never got slain and Kingu would not have never got slain. We wouldn't even be in this situation. We're
If it
still
wasn't for her.
right.
Right.
We wouldn't
Now
even
let
be
me
here.
ask you, how did we become why who is saying that we are descendants of Kingu instead of being descendants of Tiamat? How was that connected?
That I don't know who started that, but
Mhm.
we are not just descendants. The reason why this is why they say that. Because
Mhm.
Kingu is Soma. Kingu is Soma, and Soma is in the Bible that's called manna, which is the bread of life. Okay, it's the bread of the gods that the God eat. Okay, that give them all knowing, all awareness, that awakens them to higher states of consciousness. Okay, that gives them the library, the access to the library, right, of information, of cosmic information. So understand, Kingu wasn't really a
What?
physical, technical being. It's an intelligence. It's chaos. It's melanin. Okay, so understand that that's why they say we are the descendants of Kingu, because we are the descendants of that melanin. We are the descendants of chaos. And Kingu is none other than a representation of Tiamat. Understand, that was her consort. She gave him the power, all right, and rulership to have dominion over the Anunnaki. She gave him the 7 tablets of destiny. What is neuromelanin? That's the intelligence of all things. 7 tablets of destiny. Understand, a king cannot become a king unless he has a queen. She gave that to him, and she lifted him up, gave him that power. Because the mother is the only one that can grant that to you. She's the great teacher. He been up under her. It's passed down. Now everybody call him he, but I still say she, because it's the moon. And if you go back to the books of Wendy O'Flera, King Soma is Sandra, which is the moon.
Mhm. Yeah, everything that I know of that relates to the moon is of a divine feminine,
It's all the divine feminine.
right?
You understand?
So yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how it became him.
Hmm?
I'm just trying to figure out how that became masculine.
Yeah, when I'm gonna say this in
Mm,
Dr. Malachi books, he is a he. And you got to understand that the Anunnaki is here on the earth. We all look alike. Understand that we share in the luxury of having melanin because we were created from the same clay, but a different sperm,
mhm.
okay, a different blood. So they look identical to us and they are still pushing the patriarch. So a lot of these
Okay.
people that you see that is
Mhm,
pushing the patriarch, they are probably the Anunnaki's bloodline. And that's
mhm.
okay,
That makes
right?
sense.
It's fine.
That
But
makes
at the
sense.
end of the day, y'all are our
Mhm.
grandchildren. Y'all are kids.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Let
y'all
them tell it,
literally
honey. It's all they the daddies and the fathers and the whatever. But
right.
we know that. I'm glad that you pointed that out and you clarified that because I've always wanted to know, well, when the story got switched, right? Because that's a part of the spell, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because it seems like, and I hear the story about how, because I believe, the story is sovereignty, and what we hear through these stories is hierarchy, right? I'm giving you power and authority and rulership, this and that, where it wasn't that way. It was when you talked about harmonics. When you talk about the divine codes of harmonics, it's about integration and
Hmm.
balance and harmony. How there was no gender, right? So how it all infused and became balanced. The frequencies, tones and frequencies on scales, it's not one over the other, right? You may have different octaves, tones, and frequencies, but
Hmm.
it works in harmony, and harmony works with sovereignty. Whereas patriarchy and anything that has authority, I'm here and you're there, that's hierarchy,
Exactly. And they took
right?
that from her because she was the original hierarchy.
Well, when we talk about hierarchy, that's what I'm saying. It's I am here and you're down here, where I think she worked from sovereignty, meaning that harmonics and balance. Yeah, she's the mother. Of course, she's the great mother. But when it's someone says that I'm the mother and I'm gonna give you all of my power and now you rule. That's where that story come from, because that sounds like now I have the authority over you to create others and dominate them. That sounds so like non matriarchal in a way. That sounds incredibly patriarchal
Well, the
when
thing is,
Mhm.
the thing is, she's the creator of all. She is the
Yeah,
great teacher. So she passes the information down. She the one give access to it because she's the beholder of the wisdom and knowledge.
right.
Okay,
But what you do
she is the
with
staff.
knowledge is something else, right? Yeah. If I'm giving you knowledge and wisdom for you to grow and expand, that's different from you to conquer, destroy, and colonize, and then come back and then try to kill me in the process. You see what I'm saying? So yes, if like you have children, right? And I have children, then my children have children, and so forth and so on, and somewhere down the line, they go left. You see what I'm saying? They go left and they start doing their own thing, and which is totally against whatever it is that I taught them, or whatever it is that was a part of this sovereign realm, and now you pervert it. Now you're creating other things, you're cloning things, you're manipulating things, you're doing things that's out of order.
They
And
wanted that power.
right, they
They
wanted
wanted
that
that
power.
power. The thing is,
Yeah,
to them, her power was it was beyond them, and they wanted that. They wanted to suppress that. They wanted to become the rulers of the original cosmic order, and that's what it was. She was that, and she passed the
that's right.
seven tablets of destiny over to him to give him rulership over
Hmm.
them. She gave him the power. But the thing is, like you say, we raise our children
Who
up in the way
created
that we
them?
should go. And we never know what our children do with that information
Gonna
if
do
they
when they
decide to
right
apply it
on.
or not apply it. But Doom was her
Perverted.
grandchildren, and they wanted
Mhm.
that power. They wanted to be over the cosmos. They wanted to
Right.
have the knowledge. They wanted it all. And only way they was going to do it is they had to go up against the top warrior, the top
Mm.
chief, the general.
Mhm.
You understand? They had to go against her. And so by them slaying her, that gave them the keys to everything because she was no
Right.
longer there, you know?
Mhm.
So the thing is, she I would say the great mother, she represents both. She is that. Okay.
Mhm.
That's why they say from chaos came order, right?
I say.
But she is all things. She is
Right.
the very source of all. So she has everything. There's nothing that she does not have. So you got to think about it having everything, right? And
Mhm.
someone wanting that. They're willing
Right.
to go to the extreme to take it from you. And
Yeah.
so she gave that to Kingle, right? I guess,
Mhm.
and I look at it like this too,
According to the doctrine. Right.
according
The
to the
story.
doctrines, is to keep them in line, okay,
Mm.
to keep the Anunnaki in line because they were the younger gods and they, in a way, needed guidance, but they didn't want that. They wanted the power for themselves.
Mm.
They was
Mhm.
never granted the 7 tablets of destiny. That was something that was given to Kingu, okay, and so they didn't have that. They
This is
didn't have
beginning to
the
sound like
all
that.
knowing.
This is beginning to sound like the story of Esau and Jacob in a way.
Exactly. All these, it's all this, all this stuff is replayed over and over throughout history, and you just
Mm.
have to connect the dots. All the
Right.
stories, it's all played out
That's
many times,
crazy. That's like,
whole
yeah.
different ways.
So to keep you off track, to keep you off scent. But the moral of the story still exists. Basically, inheritance was given to someone, and someone got jealous and they wanted it,
And
and
they
then
wanted it.
they go to war, and this is what the whole thing starts. And then they create other beings to keep you in check and make sure you stay asleep, and they
That you
put
never wake
systems
up.
in place. But right?
Exactly. So it's
So
and that's why I'm like, we keep breaking this stuff down about these Anunnaki, right? And I'm like,
uh,
you can break it down till you blue in the face. It takes a person to understand this because you have to connect the dots and you got to be on a certain frequency to get it because we've been breaking this stuff down for the longest. And I'm like, there's really no other way you can break it down. It's all about power. It's a
yeah,
cosmic struggle, an eternal struggle
agree.
between light and darkness that has been going on between law and order, chaos and order throughout history. So
Right.
it's something been going on, and it's an eternal thing. And so,
Yeah.
and that's throughout all mythology, the same thing.
Right.
All
Right. That's crazy.
the younger
Every
beings wanting power, taking the parents down, taking that power, and completely turning everything upside down when they get it. And so at the end of the
they
day,
not supposed to have it.
yeah,
Damn it.
and at the end of the day, this is what this war is all about that the Bible speak of as the Armageddon, which is none other than the Mamageddon, because it's
Mm.
the returning of the matriarch. It has to be a balance because she has been missing out of this equation
Oh
the
yeah.
entire time. So he is
Kidnapped,
the
honey.
Christ that's supposed to return. That's that chaos energy. And this is why you see the world going chaos, going in chaos. Why? Is because in order for us to awaken and to fully activate, we need chaos because we are chaos beings. And understand when Christ stated, when Christ come in the end, think not that I come to bring peace, but war. And this is why in the Egyptian text, Apap is another aspect of Tiamat. She kept trying to get the Ra every chance she could get. Reason why? Because she was trying to take Ra out to get it back to darkness and to chaos, back to the beginning,
Who's this?
right?
Who you said this was? Which
And
one?
this is in Egypt mythology with
Mm-hmm.
Apap, why she's
APAP.
always trying to get Ra, the sun,
Mm.
okay? Because that sun plays a role in the prism and the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so understand the sun came from the darkness.
Mm-hmm. I
And so
say.
she's trying to destroy Ra because Ra plays a role in shining that light onto the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you didn't have that light, you wouldn't see things for what it is. You would be in the darkness. Everything would be back in the dark. Okay. But in chaos will rule. So that's what that's all about, is the great mother trying to take that sun out so that way it can go back to the darkness where chaos can rule, which she can rule again. Okay, so and that's what it's all about. Chaos coming back in the fold of things. And the masculine is, or the patriarch is very in fear of that power. Like they say, hell has no fury when it comes to a woman. And so when you look throughout all history, all the women that they call demons, right? Or deemed to be monsters or whatnot, they all been scorned.
Exactly. Right. They've
Medusa,
both been
she's been raped.
scorned.
Okay. Lilith,
Speaking,
just
speaking,
all of these different stories, they all been hurt. So like they say, hell has no fury. And Tiamat, what you
they
think?
have
She
been
was
hurt.
slain by her great grandchildren. So you think she ain't finna come back? Furious?
Honey, listen.
You know what I'm
Look,
saying? So
look,
they
I'll
scared of that
just
energy
say it.
awakening through the women. And the women is gonna be the
Yeah.
ones that's gonna activate this shift. I'm telling you, that
Oh,
fury is
I
gonna
totally
come through
agree.
you
I
through
totally
the
agree.
women.
I totally agree with that. So this is the so when this I'm glad you brought that up, because, and not to scare all the guys now, y'all just need to be patient and listen to the story of how we're unpacking this, because the spell, the spell that's been casted upon women, right? And this channel is mainly, it's really to help awaken women, especially Black women, right?
Mhm.
Because the Black women, in my opinion, are the ones that's upholding patriarchy the most, because they're under the spell the most, right?
Yes.
They're like diehard Christians, and whatever religion is out there, you're gonna find a woman upholding it the most.
She banging
Even
with it.
right, bang hard, even though she's the most oppressed from it. And that system depends upon her participation in it to uphold it so it can exist. So when we talk about the Great Awakening, in my opinion, we're talking about when she realizes and recognizes what she's been doing all of this time, that the suppressive system that has been in place, it's existing because she's asleep and upholding something that has been against her, built, designed to oppress her the whole time and feed off of her energy, her essence, her codes the whole time. And the moment she snaps out of that, because she is directly connected, not just to the realm, the whole realm she's connected to, but as long as her mind is connected to the Father in heaven and Jesus and whoever else, whether you paint them white, black, or polka dot, she's waiting on something to save her, not realizing that she's the savior of her own self in her own realm. So when I say the great awakening, in the pole shift, the consciousness shifts, is when she awakens. And then the whole system will flip
It's gonna be chaos.
overnight.
It
Oh,
has
yeah.
to be chaos because the energy has to be brought forth. I do want to touch on something that
Go ahead.
I kind of drifted away from. Now, going back to the matriarch and what we control and why we are considered supreme, the masculine is very powerful. Don't get me wrong. He controls the external realm, but the divine feminine, she controls the internal. Like they say, how you gonna win if you're not right within? We control the divine realm, the spiritual realm. This is why she was able to give Kingu the 7 tablets of destiny, because she is the beholder of the wisdom that she gives. She controls that realm. We control that. This is why we always consider the teachers of all things. This is why they deem even the churches us as being either evil, witches. Remember the Witch Chronicles?
Oh, yeah.
Slaying the Sibyls, right?
Right.
Because
Mhm.
the one that holds the key, right, controls the heavens, and that's us. Okay, we carry the chalice. We are the master mason. A man can't be that because he doesn't have the Holy Grail, which is the womb. Okay. And so we birth divine beings. We bring forth the Christ. It comes through the womb. And so we are the ones that initiates the Christ consciousness. Okay. That's us. We bring that. Now was another thing that I wanted to say.
Before we had bodies, let me just ask you that quick question. Right? Masculine and feminine energies always existed. Right?
Always existed.
Right? But we had these plasmic light bodies. So what was the role of that? Because when you said the masculine is a part of the bloodline of the feminine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's when you're looking at it from energy, how do you define that when it comes to internal and external?
Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to say this.
Mhm.
We were always androgynous, masculine and feminine. But the thing is, it wasn't a separation in the spirit realm. We was one, so it wasn't a such thing as masculine or feminine. We just was a divine being. Okay, so the masculine and the feminine became separated when duality came into existence. And now let's go back and let's touch on the Gnostics with Sophia and her.
Girl, I gotta let me write that down. You thank you. That's another one. My list is long, but go ahead.
When Sophia, in her rebellious state, created this demiurge god, she ended up creating this imbalance in the universe, which is what caused duality to come into existence. She gave birth to that from the fall. And so if you read up on the text, it tells you when Sophia gave birth to the demiurge, there was a shadow, okay, that was created. And that shadow is what you would call the melanin, okay, that she gave birth to, which is what they call the Christ, that supposedly descended back up. And then the shadow came down, but the actual essence of Christ went back to the pleroma. But it ended up coming back because it had to save her. And that would be your Abraxas, okay, the Logos, which is the word, which is none other than us who came into the physical. Okay, our job is to save her. So which goes back to a house that is divided cannot stand. Tiamat is divided within herself. She is not as strong as she was if she wasn't. If she wasn't divided, we are her voice, her mouth, we are her power in the physical. She operates through us. So understand that we is the Abraxas. We is the Logos, which is the word. That's why I say that the word became flesh.
Mm-hmm.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we the Christ, and Christ is Abraxas. That's what y'all got to keep in mind. So understand, Abraxas, which is the Logos, which is the word, which is Christ that came into the physical, came here on a rescue mission to rescue her because Sophia done got trapped down into the physical as well.
Damn.
We all
we all get trapped in this.
So
Lord,
we came here on a rescue mission. Many of us came here on a rescue mission to rescue her. Our job is to rescue Mama, to save her.
I see.
So y'all got to go back into the text to really read this because it's right there in there. So it goes back to us. Even though we were slain in the beginning of the foundation, we came into the physical. We manifested here.
There you go. We transmute. You can't
divine essence within these bodies.
It
limited us because we got trapped here. We weren't originally in these bodies. We had our spirit form before we came here.
I say plasma body. Let me ask you. Who created the bodies?
Huh?
Who created these bodies?
The Anunnaki.
They always on the scene. They at the scene of the crime.
This is why they say the Anunnaki did it. It's because they did the slaying. That's the only reason why they say it. But did we self-create? Hell yeah, we did. Because they caused that blood to hit the earth. It bonded and impregnated God. We manifested on our own. They just set up the environment. That's all they did. So that's why they say they created us. They technically really didn't.
Well, I mean, I can understand why they say that because they replace themselves. It's mimicking, right? They're trying to mimic what was already
Yeah.
existing, right?
And of course, the ones who win the war is always the ones who controls the narrative. They rewrite history. They won the war. The young gods did. They did.
All right, I got someone who had a question. They said, "How did the Anunnaki create the bodies?" You talked about this a little bit earlier about the blood of Kingu
The
falling.
blood of
So
Kingu
tap into that a little
combining
bit.
with
Yeah.
the mother Kai, okay, what they call Mother Kai, combining with the earth. And you got the elements, y'all. Forget about the elements, the netas. Okay. So understand that that blood combined and bonded with the earth and what brought forth mighty beings is what brought us into manifestation, which goes back to Egypt mythology, which is Autumn. Autumn is the self-created God. Autumn is Adam, the first, well,
Right.
the second creation. So
Now,
understand,
now, I would give them credit for that second creation, right?
because the first creation was a fail. They didn't have a soul.
Accident.
It was a
Oh, but let's
fail.
talk. Okay, I think I want to connect this to the bodies, the human bodies that we trapped in, right? So just to make sense, make sure I'm getting it clear, because my imagination, honey, is so. Let's say, hold on, Kingu. So let's take it to Tiamat, right? So when Marduk and them, now did they have bodies? The Anunnaki? What was they in?
The Anunnaki, they were the war between the two. The thing is, I would say we was in the fourth dimension. They was in the third,
Mm,
dealing based off the Kabbalah. Because I have to bring the Kabbalah into this.
okay, I
Okay, and
see it
where
back
we
there.
was at.
Look how she
Okay.
sliding in.
So now everybody was in a spirit form or whatnot fighting. This was in the spirit realm. This goes back to the war with Michael and Lucifer. All of these wars that happened, it did not happen in this dimension. A plane looked just like this, but in the spirit, we was in a different dimension,
Parallel universe. Okay,
another
got
whole nother universe. So
Mhm.
understand there's multiple dimensions
Yeah,
surrounding you. We're separated by frequency, energy, and vibration. So what
right.
happened here, just in another time.
Got
Okay.
you.
And we were vibing at a higher vibration. Things were
Stay in the
different.
magic
So we was in
word.
a different form. So
Mhm.
they caused us to fall from that state by slaying him. And that blood dripped on down to the next realm.
And then
Dripped on down.
morphed
Because
into
as you can
us.
see, I got the little blood
Go
drip that's
ahead,
gonna
go
drip
ahead. Let me
on
give you a
down
solo shot. Hold
to
on. Let
the
me give
earth
you
realm,
a
right? Which is the ram of Egypt on the Kabbalah, which is called the Malkuth, which is the ram of emanation where everything exists, the lowest plane to exist on. So that blood, when they say that the slaying of Tiamat on the Kabbalah, this ram is the ram of Uranus, which is Banai, is Isis, which Isis is Sirius, which deals with which is the Great Mother. Okay, Isis is another
Keep
aspect
going,
of
sis. Keep going.
Tiamat. So when Cronus or the Titans were slain, that blood dripped on down to the earth realm. It combined with the earth realm, and from that, we were created out of the elements. Okay, that's what caused us to manifest. That's your Autumn, your Adam, the original divine being that was created. You have the earthly creation, which is those who lack a soul. And that earthly creation deals with a lot of the Anunnaki. They're not like us. They look like us, but they
They
don't
not
possess
like
the
us.
same soul. They are gods, but they are not primordial. So understand where they come from. They come from the earthly realm. We don't come from here. We come from up here.
Child, they gonna remix that whole record. They got us thinking. I mean, let them tell it from their
We
doctrine.
fell and came down here. But the thing is, this is why they say the Anunnaki dominate the earthly realm. because they dominate. This is their realm. You know what I'm saying? And we dominate the heavenly realm. Big difference. This is why in the Bible it states that the 6-day creation that was created by the demiurge, they was given dominionship over the earthly realm. We didn't, the dominionship wasn't given to us. And this is what y'all have to understand. We didn't get power over this earthly realm. This is not our home. We got to get back up here to the realm of Saturn, that timeline. We failed from our original damn timeline. We're not in our original timeline. And this is why Saturn is the black planet, which is connected to the Titans, which is connected to the end game, because that black planet is connected to us. The black sun. We are the dark.
That's interesting. Because, you know, I've noticed that, because I love astrology, that many of these, when you said that they rule this third dimension, right?
The third dimension.
So what they do is, what I've noticed, that they'll take planetary energies and harness it, but invert it or pervert it, right?
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of, Saturn gets a bad rap in this realm, right? They'll
Yes.
equate it to Baphomet, things of that nature, but we all know who that is when we break that down.
Yes.
Many people don't get that.
Baphomet, yes.
Right. Saturn, what is this? Saturnalia, you know, the celebration of this, what they were doing along the winter solstice, how you get Christmas and all of that kind of stuff. It's all connected to the alignment of Saturn and the sun. But if you look at Western astrology, right?
Yes.
So, but some of us have been decoding it when we look at Saturn and what Saturn really represents. When you break it down astrologically on the signs that it rules, the first sign, like if one of the first signs that it rules is Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, right? And it's known to the sign of families, motherhood, feminine energy, intuition. So anything that deals with the moon and women and family is connected to Cancer. But when you look at the opposite sign, it's Capricorn,
Then the cardinal
by
sign.
Saturn. Absolutely.
cardinal
Right, because you were cardinal, I know. Right? You Libra, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm one of them.
I may not remember your name, but I'm gonna remember your sign. Now I'm getting somewhere with this, because now what's interesting is this: they'll say, okay, so if Cancer is the mother, then Capricorn is the father, the patriarch, which is not true, right? Because when you unpack Capricorn, Capricorn is a feminine sign, and Capricorn is known to govern the elderly. So we would say it's the elder mother or the crone mother. And then Saturn is also known to rule greatness.
Yes.
So when you take great with elder mother, right, you get the great mother.
The great mother.
I
The
said,
Saturn represents the great mother.
indeed.
Yes, she's binary and
Yeah.
on the Kabbalistic tree. Yes.
Indeed, right?
Yeah.
But this is why it's so important, I think, people to start learning these different sciences and decoding them, because then you'll see it's always right there. But if you let someone else interpret it for you, you'll get the misunderstanding by believing that this is a masculine sign or planetary energy when it's actually feminine. That's what I was getting to. So I was saying that why it gets a bad rap. Everything that deals with the mother gets a bad rap.
Everything.
Every
You in the
fucking thing.
patriarchal system. You in the realm of Malkuth down here. That's the king shit. That deals with nothing but the patriarch. So that ain't got nothing. Look, even though the matriarch she produced all this, they running it all. Somebody made a comment and said,
What they say?
somebody said, yes, we fell through timelines. That is absolutely correct. But each Earth looked the same way, and they're all identical to one another. And this is why you think you in the same home. Even Bobby Hemmett talked about this. The ram we fought is identical to this. It's not the same, but it's identical, just off a different frequency, vibration, and energy. And we did fall through timelines. We fell so low that we lost ourselves. But also coming into the physical, that's what also caused us to fall into a deep sleep, because that's transitioning over. And we incarnated in these bodies. We incarnated.
Let's
In,
talk
in
about.
a book from Gerald Massey, I want y'all to get these books because
Yeah, go
a
ahead.
lot of
What
people
was
like,
there?
where are you getting this information from? It's from Divine Insight, it's from the Akasha, but it's also from a lot of the books. What y'all got to understand is that the Titans, they incarnated through the mother line. We incarnated here, not reincarnated. We incarnated
Mhm.
in the bodies that they stated that was produced by the Anunnaki. But in all actuality, it was we manifested, these bodies manifested by the combining of the blood and the earth
And the earth, that right.
that
Okay.
impregnated Ka.
So basically, no matter what you try to do, it always goes back to the essence of her because it was created from her. So
Yeah,
even if she created Kingu and it was his blood that spilled, it was her blood that's in him,
that's in him.
right?
It still go back to
And
that
even
maternal
a
blood.
fraction
It's
of
still the
what they
maternal.
call it, absolutely, even a fraction of this. You said she gave birth to Kai, right?
Mhm,
So now this is her son and her daughter, right? That you
mhm,
tried to collapse from me, basically, and
mhm.
I'm still reproducing from it
In the midst of it,
in the
I
midst of
still,
it.
my
But
baby
then you
still
took
came back.
claim to it. You made it seem like you created it, all this shit. I mean, let them tell the story when you read their
Right,
document.
and they didn't. And that's why you got to really read this mythology. You would see, like, nah, it ain't what you think it is.
So
Because
what do you say to all of those who shouting and screaming that we the Anunnaki gods? We the Anunnaki gods.
some of them are Anunnaki.
Mhm.
Some of them carry the spirits of the Anunnaki. The thing is, like I
How
said,
can you tell the difference?
that's like you can't tell. It's like, look, two fuse boxes, right? Different fuses. They all look the same, but the capacity of the fuse is different. The energy is different. Just like two suitcases, we might have the same suitcase. They might look identical, right?
But
But
it's
what
different shit
makes
in
them
there.
different is what's inside
I say
of that suitcase. We
indeed.
possess the divine spark. They don't. And
Mm.
this is why they have
Well,
been after our soma and after our melanin for the entire time, because they want to have that power too, but it was never granted to them because we was the elders. We are the original librarians. We carry the knowledge. We are the Christs. That's us. Christ is us. We the elders. And we are supreme. And then based off of the Rig Veda, off the book, okay, we are considered the ancient ones. We are older.
oh yeah,
than
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
gods.
No doubt.
Way
Absolutely.
older than them. Been
We
here way longer
we
than
are
them.
the immortal ones.
Yeah,
We're the
we are
that was
the
proven when
eternals.
you tried to slaughter us. We just gave birth. We just changed
We just
form and
came back
shit.
again. You
Right. We
tried to
just
kill us,
sprouted
but
out the shit like grass. Look,
right, we done grew out the ground like a flower, right?
like
Just
right, like a
came
flower.
back.
Yeah, they're like, damn. But okay, see, I be losing my thought because I really like this conversation, and I just there's a million thoughts going through my mind. Damn, I was wanted to say something about ah, it'll come back to me. Ooh, I kind of wanted to tap on this wasn't it, but while we're talking timelines and things of that nature, there's so many different names for Earth, right? Which causes a little confusion, right?
Right.
You had mentioned that Tiamat is not Earth, right?
She's not Earth.
She's not
She is
Earth.
the dark waters. She's the primordial
Premortal
waters.
waters, Ashe, right?
Yeah.
Now we have Kai, we have Gaia,
Gaia,
and now we have Sophia.
Sophia.
So let's talk about, are these three different entities?
Sophia is just another aspect of Tiamat. She has
Mm.
many aspects throughout mythology to
Ashe.
confuse you on who she is because They are telling bits and pieces of her story throughout all mythologies, but she's in
Right.
everything
Everything.
up under different names.
Indeed.
They're giving you bits and pieces of her story of how the Anunnaki came about, which is the demiurge, on how duality came into existence, the heaven and earth. This is why the Bible said heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word. Why? Is because we are the eternals. We are primordial. We can never die. No matter how many times you go to war with us, no matter how many times you try to keep us trapped in these bodies, it is a part of us. It is who we are for us to come back and to clap back. But baby, that was a minor setback for a major comeback. Because when we come back this time,
We back. We ain't never left out there.
because y'all
Right.
done messed up. And now we know y'all are our kids.
Ooh,
Y'all
that's
took
the
us to
honey.
a
The
great
cat
grandmother. Oh, we
is
on
out
y'all
the
ass.
bag.
And this is
Yeah.
what they did not want. This is why this system is against the matriarch. They are
Right.
against of us waking up. Why? Is because when her daughters come online, we're gonna inactivate that chaos. When that chaos come forth, baby, think not that I come to bring peace, but the sword. Because we come up for every
Look
single
at
last
her.
one of y'all.
Go use their word against them. Thank you. I
We come up
appreciate
for every
that.
single last one of y'all. And when we ignite, we gonna ignite the warrior in our men.
Mm. I hope so.
It ain't gonna be the men, it's gonna be us.
I hope so. Because honey, I'm gonna be nice this show.
Look,
Let's
here,
talk about the
not
moon.
all of them. Here's the
But
thing. It ain't gonna be all of them, but it's
it's the
gonna be
one
the
she
ones that's
chooses.
aligned with us.
The
Because
one
see, when a
she
man is in
right on.
alignment with a woman, when he loved that woman and he's in alignment with her, he
Yeah.
can feel her energy. He can feel her feeling.
He's
And that
returning back to his
activates
mother.
something in that man. And he
He's
be ready to
returning.
take down whoever and don't give a name. He kicking ass and taking
Let me
names
say
later.
this.
He don't
Let me
care.
say this. Right. Let me say this because I think a lot of I had a sister Sahaja. Shout out to Dr. Sahaja who was on the show last week and was saying that when the males connect to the divine feminine in them, because many don't feel, many have been programmed and conditioned to do the dominating, to do the shit that we going through, right? There's a condition in the program when we were split or put into these bodies and separated, right? There's a program in that Y chromosome, and what his mission is to learn how to connect back to his ex, right? Because
That
his
feminine
his
energy. Yeah.
right, and that yeah. So his union is within the divine in him and acknowledging that because this whole time she ain't exist. This whole time he's been programmed to look at her as a servant onto him. Now the cleansing and the detoxing he needs to do is to remove that from his psyche and to the epigenetics that's in his
Gotta
DNA,
deprogram.
right, needs to be deprogrammed. So when we say that, when brothers awaken to that, that's when he activates, right? That's when he will begin to acknowledge it, because many don't even know that anything about a divine mother, right? They don't know. Many of them is still on the father and things of that nature, or they'll get into all of these different other patriarchal systems that are just colored black. Let's just keep it real, right? And still feel that you are beneath him or you are here to serve him.
Yeah.
So that needs to be detoxed out of him. So as sisters awaken, this timeline, right? The thing I really wanted to talk about was the timeline shifting, because that's the war, in my opinion, to keep the timeline where it is, to keep us
Exactly.
on this loop, right?
Mhm.
This soul trap. And because what's upholding it is her. She's upholding it because of the sleep that she's in. So when she awakens,
We have to waken
he
mama.
will awaken, right?
Mhm.
He will awaken,
Yes.
right? Instead of him. But the thing is, many of them are preventing her from awakening
But see, that's why
out
you
of
got
fear.
sisters like myself coming through, I'm slaying.
Oh,
You know,
woo.
and so the thing is, like they say, many are called, but only few are chosen. It's
That's it.
gonna take a divine feminine to activate something in that man. And that's why they say we need to be in alignment with one another, because I spark things in my masculine and my masculine sparks things in me because we're on that alignment. So it's all about getting with that feminine and getting on that alignment. And the most importantly is deprogramming yourself.
Right.
It's 2025. Our people should be more advanced than where they are
You would think.
consciously. But you still have people up under the ghost spell, and they're
That's it.
still up under this system, and they're still asleep. But like they said, we can't take them all. We can't help them all. We only got to focus on the ones that want to be helped and the ones that is awakened, because everybody ain't gonna go. Everybody ain't gonna
Ashe
transition
is
and
not
make
going to
that
make
jump.
the shift. Right. And the frequency and the vibration that needs to be raised is what we should be aiming for, right?
Yeah,
Is raising our frequency and our vibration higher than where it's on now. And some equate that to a lot of things: food, diet, what you're connecting to, and things of that nature, what you have in your system, what's around you. Because we're bombarded with so much electronics and things of that nature that are is messing with our electromagnetic field. So and keeping us from sleeping, where that dream state allows us to um, resonate in the astral a little bit more when we go into the sleep state. Not the sleep like we in the coma, but when we go deep within that meditative and
in that
start hitting those,
meditation.
right, that meditation, or that those hitting those different waves, beta waves that will help us activate higher. Shout out to Dr. Rev Sahaja, educated me so much on this about vibration, and we think we need to speed up when we actually need to slow down, because when you slow down your vibration, the brain waves expand. And that
Yes.
blew my mind. And so these are the things we need to be really focusing on to raise that frequency. But I wanted to really talk about, you was talking about the moon a little bit,
Hmm.
right? Why do you think that it's being said in the cosmic community streets, or the unconscious community streets, I'd rather say that the moon is fake, and that's why that they're gonna get rid of the moon, and how the moon is a part of the soul trap? What are your thoughts on that? This is the reincarnation thing. Like when we die, our souls goes to the moon, and they'll send us back here and all that shit.
I
What do you think about that?
I think that based off of everything that I have known, this is why you have to elevate in your consciousness, because right now, the state we are in, I'm gonna get there. If I end up drifting, please bring me back. But I want to say this:
Drift, because
we
I'm
are
gonna
in
go
the
with
age
you. Go ahead.
of Aquarius,
Mm.
and the age of Aquarius represents the Great Mother, which, when you see the sign, is the Spirit being poured upon the people. That is the Holy Spirit. That's the Shekinah. That's waking everybody up. The thing is, it's no way that anyone should still be sleeping right now. And the reason why I say that is because we are all being submerged in the water. We're going through the water phase. And understand that water phase deals with emotion. And we're supposed to evolve here through our emotions, because emotion is key. And that's something that the masculine lack. And they have to tap into the X chromosome to understand the divine feminine, because that's what's going to help them go through their ascension. They're lacking that, and they have to tap into the feminine in order for them to ascend, because the
Okay.
feminine is what controls the spirit realm and the divine. So in order for you to win within, you got to go internal, because the divine controls the internal. So like they say, how you going to win if you're not right within? The masculine has to get in tune with his X chromosome. Now, we are all going through a rapture phase. Well,
Mm.
you're like, well, what is the rapture phase?
Go ahead.
The meditation phase, there is 4 phases that you have to access before you take flight and meet Christ in the air. And all of this happened through the phases of meditation. And the third phase is the air, where they say you meet Christ in the air when the Christos comes down through meditation. And after that, you go up into a rapture phase. Rapture in Hinduism means PT. It means a state of euphoria or ecstasy. And it's a state that you are in, operate in a higher state of consciousness. You are elevated in the spirit. When they say, I feel just lifted in the spirit, that is what you feel when you go through meditation. And when you meditate to a certain extent, so much they say, my cup run up over. Sometimes you ain't even got to meditate because you're naturally doing it. You're washing dishes, you're sitting there chilling, you zoning out. You're already naturally, your body is already tuned in to going into forms of meditation. Meditation is just not crisscross applesauce anymore. When you reach a certain state, you automatically start doing it. A lot of us is operating out of a raptured mindset right now. And a raptured mind means an individual operating out of their God mind. And this is what they are in fear of, is us getting back in tune with our cosmic mind.
Mm.
And a lot of us is operating out of that cosmic mind now. Okay. And so this is why people was like, oh, the rapture is happening. Baby, we've been going through this phase since the age of Aquarius started in the 1900s. See, that's what people don't know. People just coming around to this. But a lot of us already been operating at that state already. And this is how we've been able to tap and decode and tap into this information like that. It's because we already activated and we're tapped into our cosmic mind. And that's what many of us need to do, is to get access to that. You got to get access to your cosmic mind, because that transcends the 3D. And that's what they are in fear of, is your memory returning, your cellular memory returning. Now you understanding stuff that they tried to scribble, or they tried to erase, or try to confuse you through our mythology. You start reading this stuff, you're like, wait a minute, hold on. I figured this out. Oh, no, this ain't what that is. You start to enter things from a whole nother different perspective. And that's when divine insight come into play. So a lot of y'all already been operating out of your rapture mind.
So about the moon.
Oh, the moon.
Yeah.
The moon is connected to our melatonin phases. It's also connected to our consciousness phases. The moon is also a symbol of the soul in astrology. The moon is also connected to the divine feminine. Now, I don't know who came up with this whole thing that the moon was some type of soul catcher. And for a minute, I was there when I was operating at a low state of consciousness. But like they say, so as a man thinks, so is he. You got to deprogram yourself, because when you come into the knowledge of everything, you will start to see it ain't what you think it is. They're trying to confuse you on the moon and the sun, or either on the moon and Saturn. You're in the Saturn moon matrix because this all deals with the matrix of the great mother. The moon, feminine, Saturn, feminine. You're in the matrix. The moon does not capture souls. It's connected to you. You understand that before there was a such thing called sun gods. There were moon gods before there was even a sun god. The sun gods came into existence when the patriarch took over. And this is where the sun gods come from. But before then, it was the moon. So the moon is not your enemy if you think it's your enemy. If you think it's a soul trapper. So as a man thinks, so is he. You create your own lockdown based off your programming. You are the architect of all of this. You have to rewrite this. You have to control this. So if you think it affect you, yeah, it will. If you think you eating that food right there gonna kill you, guess what? It's gonna kill you. Because it's all about the programming of your mind. Y'all remember what was that? I'm trying to think of it. It was called the placebo effect. I remember the placebo placebo effect experiment that they did on the people. And some of them took a sugar pill and some of them took an actual pill. So as a man thinks, so is he. Them people took that sugar pill, they healed quicker than the ones who took a pill. that was actually a pill
Right.
with chemicals in it. So your mind is the most powerful thing ever.
My question is really like, where did these narratives come from? Because it never really jived with me when I heard the stuff about the moon. Like I said, I always equate it to astrology. So I'm like, why are they now pushing to get rid of the moon? Right?
The
Why are
first
they
time I
now?
think that it came from a white man. The
But they
first
got a
time
lot
I came across
of
that,
us talking that.
yep, it came from the palm colored people. That's when I came across the knowledge. It came from them. But if you go into Egypt mythology and the story of Set and Horus, let me just share this together. This might give you a different perspective. The story of Set and Horus, Set gouged out Horus' eye, and Horus basically castrated Set, right? Set and Horus represents your higher and lower self. They were both fighting for dominance in Egypt. What is Egypt? Metaphysically is talking about the body. They both was fighting for dominance in the body. So what they did was castrated both of them so neither one of them would rise. Okay. So when Horus got his eye gouged out by Set, Tahuti, which is the god of wisdom and knowledge, which is the staff, okay, came and replaced his eye with the moon.
Mm.
So if the moon was your enemy, why did he give Horus that eye? Because he gave him wisdom and knowledge. He couldn't see
Tuition.
because his good eye was cut out, and he replaced his eye with the moon, and the moon represents wisdom and knowledge.
Mhm.
And also Tahuti is a moon god.
Psychic energy.
So he gave
Really?
him that power back.
I didn't know Tahuti was a moon god. I thought it was Mercury. It's interesting. Wow.
So
I was just
yeah,
wondering because you hear this stuff and it's like, where y'all getting this shit from? And I mean, there's people who's supposed to be prominent in in social media land pushing this. And it just amazes me where they really coming from with this and why are they saying this. And what do you think that's going to do? It seemed like this because it also regulates the tides, it regulates the waters of the body, it regulates
it
it's
regulates all of it.
magnetic, right?
Yeah, it's
And so,
connected to the spirit, to the
yeah.
waters.
So when you
Water.
say we need to get rid of it, it's fake, it's a soul trap. Like, and you pushing this to us, and you know how a lot of us are. We'll gobble it up because we're naive and we're just looking for the truth, and we're trusting of people that look like us, like you said, but ain't us.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
right. And I guess the point I'm making, I wanted to see what you had to say about that with the information that you had, and how does it connect? Because um, we're at a time now, I believe that the veil is lifting, like fully.
Hmm.
And when we say we're going into the age of Aquarius, um, the mantra for Aquarius is I know, right?
Hmm.
So it's time for you to start to be in the know, right? And start learning the truth of what
The
that
truth.
means, right?
Yeah.
And uncovering. And that when I talk about hierarchy and sovereignty all the time, and there's no better two signs that show that the contrast of that better than Leo and Aquarius. Okay. When you
Hmm.
look at Leo, Leo's the king, royalty, right? But the opposite sign of that is Aquarius. So what do you think the age we go into the age of Aquarius, you might want to really understand what Aquarius is about, right? Because it's against the king, it's against the royalty, or it needs to be balanced out from it represents the people, it represents the masses, it represents humanity, right? And all kind of weird shit. Like I don't you're dealing with Uranus energy, and we could talk about what that means on a metaphysical and spiritual level, right? And but on a mundane level, everything that you're seeing around you is Uranus Aquarius energy. When it ranges from technology, when it's dealing with people of all these different lifestyles, when it's dealing with AI, especially AI, right? And I wanted to tap into that a little bit with you too.
Hmm.
Or this where we're going, where you can see where things the deregulation of the elite, like what do they call that? Banking systems and all of this kind of stuff. You're seeing the fall of the system and simultaneously a rise of humanity's consciousness awareness where there's going to be breaking away from that system. So when I look at these two dynamics mirroring, like looking at each other, you can see it in the people around you. Like you see who wants to uphold the present system, the elitism, the hierarchy. I'm the god,
Mhm.
you the
Yeah.
peasant, and all that kind of shit. And then the other ones who are like really understanding that when you Aquarius rules individuality as well. You're learning who you are, right? The power in you, and then bringing that to a collective, and not changing who you are to be to follow someone else's standard, but coming as you are and
Mhm.
connecting with a network of people that can help elevate all, not just the select few. So I guess all of this to say is when we're trying to decipher whose children are who, when you're looking at it as the ages that we're progressing into, one has a hierarchy, elitism type of energy, and the other one wants sovereignty, freedom, and independence. So this is how you can start to unpack. And when you're hearing these things, I know I go all over the world just to go across the street. I'm coming across the street now. When you're hearing these things about people talk about the moon and timeline and Anunnaki, and a lot of them are pushing fear, right? It's
Yeah,
backed
they are.
by fear. It's because they want to keep the system in place. They just want to change the face of it, right? And
Mhm.
women need to realize, I'm always going to push on the women to wake up and really pay attention, because even when you are pairing, watch you who you pair with, right?
Yes.
Because the warlocks are real. Just going to put it out there. And they know that they cannot make this shift without you. And many are very crafty to know that you carry womb codes that are directly connected to timelines. And in order for some of them, if they're not raising their frequency enough and they wearing the mask and they get with you, love bombing you, the
Mhm.
whole narcissistic thing going on. You need to be careful of who you pair with, because the choice is ultimately up to you. Now, the thing is if their frequency isn't raising high enough, then their goal is to bring yours down,
And
to
that's why
keep
you got to
you
separate.
on the timeline that will no longer exist, right? Or for you, or unless you choose to stay there. So all this to say is when we have to use discernment, especially now
Then
with who
ever.
comes into our realm, our presence, and in our energetic fields, because a lot of these beings have archonic parasites attached to them, and they're wearing a lot of masks,
Yes, they are.
and right, and they pushing this shit so heavy and so hard, and they'll use guilt and manipulation to keep you in a soul trap, and they'll use terms like soulmate, twin flame. This is the new word now. They use entanglement, spiritual
Quantum
entanglement.
entanglement.
Well, yeah, that shit, right? All of that. All of that sound really trappish to me. That's just me. That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, to keep you trapped in the
To
3D
keep you
when you need
trapped
to
in
be
the
trying to ascend
right,
and get out of
because
here.
their frequency cannot elevate high enough, and they know they can see which women have what. So when we having these conversations, we're talking about trying to awaken people and activate women, and they are trapped, because remember, you uphold the system, and when you wake up, the system collapses. And many
Exactly.
are afraid of the collapse of that system. So they try to enter into your space to change your timeline. And that's something we need to be very careful of.
Well, the thing is, they honestly, it ain't gonna work no more because a lot of us done reached a certain plateau where we untouchable. And
Ooh.
right now, where we
Bell.
at,
I need a bell, honey. That's fine.
yeah, a lot of us done reach a plateau where we are untouchable. And what I mean by that is we have done put in the work and have elevated spiritually, and we're vibing at a higher frequency. And so, which means that even though we may occupy the same space, we in different worlds. And so, the
Mm.
more you elevate spiritually, you're jumping timelines. Okay, you're moving
Woo!
to different planes of existence. And so that is naturally what happened. You're pulling a Lucy until she completely just exited out of the
Oh
matrix.
shit! Right.
And
That was
this
a
is
great
what this
movie.
is all about. So you have all these parasitic energies, these parasites, these counterfeit beings, these clones,
Mm.
and
Mm.
whatnot. Their job is to keep you suppressed down into this matrix. And a lot of people are in relationships with them. A lot of people have children with them, are married to them, and not
Yeah.
understanding
Right.
that the reason why y'all can't get in alignment is because they're not what you think that they are. They
Mm.
are parasitic
Damn.
energy. They're eating off of you and feeding off you. And every time you think you're finna elevate or you feeling good, you're constantly feeling drained. So this is why you have to be mindful and separate from those, because by us now being on the high plateau that we are and vibing high and the consciousness have shifted on the earth, they are going to be drawn to you because
Yes,
you're
honey.
light. You have
Right.
a whole nother different, or you're Merkaba. You probably was operating at your color. You probably didn't even have an aura field, but now you shine and all your chakras just glowing. And you probably can't see it, but they
Right.
can see the
They can
aura
see it.
around you.
Mm.
Just like Atlas, and Atlas coming at us, and Atlas then went from all of these different beautiful colors, right? It's because the frequency. And so as we elevate in our frequency, those chakras, those seals, which is the 7 tablets of destiny, which is the chakras, they shine because they're
Mm.
activated. And the more you grow as a spiritual being, you're going to give that off, and people's going to be drawn to you. That's like bugs to a damn light. They're
What
like,
do you think this Atlas thing is all about, really? What do you think this about?
Now, Atlas, who is Atlas? Goes back to
Oh, that's good. Hey, well,
go
why
back
not?
to Greek mythology. The first thing the first thing hit me with it was Atlas. He's a primordial deity that predates the Olympian gods. And he is a Titan, and he helped out the Titans in the Titanomachy War. And Zeus was extremely angry that he helped out with the elders, okay? And he punished him by making him hold up the celestial earth, all right, to separate the celestial earth from the celestial heavenly realm from the earth. And the reason why is to stop them from bonding together, creating more deities to keep them separated. So the first thing when I heard that, I said, okay, Atlas. If you understand the chakra centers, you know that your top chakra, your top vertebra in the back of the brain that holds up the brain is called Atlas.
Shout out to Sister Joni. Dropped the video in there about a month ago.
Okay.
Powerful.
It's
Yeah.
called Atlas, and it holds up the crown. So understand this has a lot to do with the activation. And then you have these different, theories of whatnot. But I believe that this has everything to do with the activating of the crown chakra.
Mm.
And I truly believe that the Pentagon is very well aware of the Great Mother ship. They've been knowing about this for a long time. And Elijah Muhammad had talked about this mothership, which is the Ezekiel wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And understand that what was Ezekiel's job to do to the Valley of the Dry Bones? His job was to prophesy to the Valley of Dry Bones to awaken them, right? To liberate them. And we are symbolically the Valley of the Dry Bones. So understand the mothership is the great destroyer and the liberator. Islam talked about this. And the Pentagon is very aware of this mothership. And they know that it's over 15 100 smaller arcs in the inside. And it also have probes, they call them dandelion seeds, that comes out. So this is what the first thing came to my mind. And this is why I believe they are preparing. They know that those who are on this mothership look exactly like us. And they call them black scientists. They said black
So are
scientists on this.
these the not Anunnakis? Because
No, they
they're
are not
talking.
that. They're the Titans.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
they are
hold
the
on
Titans.
now.
See, the thing is, the Anunnaki is already here. They have been running this system. They created this slave system. Okay, so they
Yes.
ain't coming nowhere. They already here. They the ones who came and claiming to be
Oh,
our gods, but with a lowercase g.
are they trapped here?
Yeah, they here. They stuck here. They can't get out the ice wall.
So they got us thinking. Well, let them tell it. They're coming back, but in fact, this is something totally different coming back, or the mothership, the Ezekiel wheel type of
Yes,
energy or force
and
that's
I think that they
entering.
think
So,
that
do you
this is
think it's
what that
actually a
is.
ship, or do you think this is energy? Or
Now, I like to go to the extreme. I like to think outside the box.
okay,
I believe that this could be possibly connected to the mothership, and this is why they are preparing. The Orange Man just met up with the generals just recently, right?
I think that's what's about.
And
Mhm.
talking to them, right? And we
And
also know
told,
that there's a King Alfred plan. It's a
right?
book that was wrote,
Yeah,
okay, on what they wanted to do to the melanated
Ray
people,
Hagen.
right?
Yeah.
So in a stand, they know that Sirius has a 26,000 year cycle and is connected to the equinoxes and the solstice, which releases celestial energy. And this energy is what causes the electromagnetic field to change, but not just to change, it also changes us. And so they know it's going to come a time where this atmosphere is going to change, and those who are going to be ruling will be those who have a certain amount of melanin in them, and they know that we are going to be activated. So they're trying to get to us before anything happened,
But
because they want to start a civil war because it's about a purging thing, and they want to purge us before things hit the fan. So
this earth will crumble and swallow they ass up first.
but see, all they're gonna do is activate the hawk. Okay, they're gonna activate the hawk, and like they stated in this book that I have, we have devices within us that can come online and neutralize them. Okay,
I
and they know
listen.
that.
I ain't worried. I think they need to be very worried. They are worried. That's why they're doing the shit that they do. It's like they're about to throw a tantrum, right? Because it's
Something
like,
is definitely brewing though.
yeah, when isn't it though? Right?
Hmm?
When is it? When isn't it brewing? Something is
Yeah,
always. We've
the
been
thing is,
simmering forever. We've
we
been.
in the times of Noah right now,
Ooh,
and so it's prophesied throughout ancient texts that the arcs will come in the end.
oh,
So, and
right
just like
now.
in Noah time, Noah, the flood, that was the flood of Atlantis, and that's talked about in the Quran. So when that happened with Noah, he was on an ark. That was a spaceship. That wasn't a boat, but they called the boats, which is the ark spaceships. So it wasn't an actual boat in the ocean. It was an actual spaceship, an ark that he was on, and his family, because they was deemed righteousness to move forward to go to the next world. So at every reset, dealing with the flood, the elements always take effect. So whether there's a flood, a fire, all the elements the ram get hit with. And so when that time come, when a reset finna get ready to happen, when when the world is about to be destroyed, there is a flood, and the arcs
Mm.
come and end.
Now, what about you know? Many of us like we're taught to look up from the sky. What about what's
We
coming
inside of
out
a
the
dome.
waters?
We is definitely inside of a dome, and the book Beyond the Ice Wall describe it as a membrane, like a seal.
Mm.
Okay, and I have done drew this out before, but I taught this in one of my classes that it's like a cell, and we are the organelles in the inside of this cell. And this whole thing that we are in is like one big eye. If you go look it up, it's described as an eye. That's why the Bible calls Israel the apple of his eye, because we are right in the center. and all of this is shaped like a big eye. Okay, and so understand, there ain't nothing coming through that dome. There's windows up there that open. We got portals that the sun and the moon moves through every day. Okay, and there's portals and stuff that the arcs and stuff go through or whatnot. But understand, they ain't getting through there. You need to pay attention to the water because the water is space. And so ain't nothing coming down.
That's
It's
what I was
coming up.
getting at. There you go. I
It's
said
coming up.
facts. Right. It's
Coming
what's
from the
coming
waters.
out the waters. Indeed.
Coming out the waters. Y'all don't
I
remember
say
them talking about the mothership that was on the Pacific? Now, understand that this,
right around that eclipse time, there's something
they
that
was
can,
talking
yeah.
about the mothership. Remember, we had those probes, right? All
Mhm.
them little orbs coming out.
Yeah,
everywhere.
coming out the water. Yep.
Coming out the water. The
Yep.
mothership been coming in and out of this place for a minute. Sometimes they say it can stay, it can stay out of the atmosphere for a year, sometimes 6 months, but it'll come in and out. So the Pentagon been knowing about this. They've been knowing about it.
They know what don't they know? Because they the Anunnakis too. That's where they are. They're all in the government, and I'm really not here to harp on them, because they were like, "This good Anunnakis too." The reason why I'm like stern on this a little bit is because of the brainwashing that has always been done to us time and time again, with something coming to save us, or something coming to destroy us, or something coming to when you go back. All you have to do is continue to go back to the essence. We don't die.
Yeah, we can't.
Right.
That's the
We
thing.
don't
They know that.
die.
That's why they want to keep us suppressed
Right.
because
Right.
they can't kill us. So,
Suppress.
like, let's just keep
Right.
them in the state
Right.
hit with religion, hit
And
with all
right.
these different
Right. And so
institutions and whatnot.
right.
Let's just
And when
keep
we
them
get
in
to that
forever and stay
point,
asleep.
right? When we get that in our mind, right? We really understand that. Because if you're claiming to be all of these different religions, all through your religions they teach about that, right? They teach you about immortality. Like you just don't. Even when they talk about the moon is fake and you come back, like this is the same shit. Like basically they're constantly telling you you don't die. So if when you get that in your mind, then you wouldn't be tripping on what the government is doing and what
It's
this
the
is doing.
programming, though.
Right.
It is the
It's heavy.
programming. So as the man thinks, so is he. But we energy, we can never die. We can only be energy can only be transferred. We are literally immortal. That's and going back, somebody said something about how to tie Assuras and Divas into this conversation dealing with the Rig Veda.
Okay, go ahead.
How to tie that in there.
Tie
If
it
you
in.
go look up Ashura, Ashura is the ancient ones. They are the supreme beings. They are elders. And when you look up Ashura, Ashura means Titan,
Mm.
which
It's
means
always coming back
demigod,
to the one.
which is half divine and half human. Okay. And then you have also on the side it says anti-God, because we are not gods. We are deities that incarnated into these physical bodies. Okay. Calling us a god is lessening us because the gods is younger than us. They are our kids. We are the deities, the Elohims, the elders. So it's like a little disrespect, but that's what we've been saying. Everybody been saying, and I even have
What's
to tell myself,
going
we
on?
ain't the gods, but the Divas is the Olympian gods. They are the gods, and the Assuras is the Titans. And this is you gotta connect the dots. And that's connected to Greek mythology. Understand that the Hinduism myth predates the mythologies that we talk about. So if you want to know and get the scoop, you go to the spiritual systems that they don't really talk about. Like you got Hinduism, Buddhism, and it's another ism. You got to go back, baby, and to understand. And then
They
you
preserve their history. They definitely did. Shout out to that. This has been fascinating. Like I really, really enjoyed what we're talking about here. How y'all feeling in the chat? How y'all feeling? Put a 1 in the chat if you still with us. You still here. 650 people in the room. Thank you all for being here. Do you have any? Would you like to take some questions?
Yeah, most definitely.
Anybody got? Now I can put my glasses on because y'all know how it is. One in the chat. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Look, if you have any questions for sister, the sister up in here, we're gonna post it. And what you say? Replay button. The moon governs water body. Yes, we definitely tapped
Yes,
into
yes.
that. We're being watched and monitored. Check your events up. See, here you come with this. As a man thinketh, what you just say?
So as a man thinks, so
A
is
man
he.
thinks will be. Pineal
You
gland,
create your own
pine
life on
cone,
my
under the
day.
sea, SpongeBob. What the? Look, I need some serious people now. We ain't out here to play games with y'all. The ancient ones are older, thank you, and they exist. These are statements. Does anyone have a question? Because
Somebody
I
was
got
saying something about the moon, but the moon has been deemed bad for some time. Like I said, I believe that when I first read
okay.
about it, it came from the palm colored person. And I didn't get that from somebody that looked it like me. I got more of that information from someone that didn't look like
Didn't
me.
look like it. Okay.
So
All right. We have My Journey, My Truth in Life has a question. She said, who advised Apsu to eliminate the kids?
the same story with Enlil and
Mm,
Enqui. Remember, Enlil wanted to kill the people he created because they was
mhm.
making too much
Too
noise.
much damn
And they
noise.
said he caused the flood to wipe everybody out. And Enqui went to Noah and told Noah to build the ark. The same thing. He was irritated because they was making too much noise and it was too much going on. He just couldn't take it.
Oh,
So
he needed to
Amsu
go.
wanted to annihilate them because they was doing too much.
Wow.
So it's the
That's
same stories repeated. If you read the
over and
mythology, you're
over
like,
again.
hold on. Amsu did what Enlil did to the people, to his creation.
All
He sent the
right.
blood based off the text to kill them because they was making too much noise. They was doing too much. They was
It was
irritating,
doing the most.
doing the
But
most,
he
right?
should have gotten his little spaceship and got his sham. Ain't that what they call him? He should have got his sham and got on up out here. Royal Love says, yes. How do you
Mhm.
know if you're from cosmos versus the earth realm?
From the cosmos versus the earth realm. Well, here's the thing. If you is not reaching higher states of consciousness, if you're not tapping and breaking them seals and tapping into the akasha, if you are limited in your consciousness, if you have a certain capacity and you can't go over that, I'm just repeating the same thing, but I'm just saying it in different ways.
Right.
If you can't evolve as a being, okay, if you can't tap into your cosmic mind, if this physical world is more appeasing to you, if you don't have a feeling that you're not from here, or if
Mm,
you have a feeling you are from here, then you might just be from here. If you ever looked up in the stars and you looked up there in into the cosmos, or what they call the cosmos, you said, this I'm not from here. I don't fit in here. Then you know that you're not from here. And a lot of us have felt that before, where you can say you done felt like you don't fit in this earthly realm, and maybe because you're not from here.
mhm.
You understand? So you will know who you are. You will know. The
Yeah,
spirit will
tap
let you know
in.
who you are. If
Right.
you're
Go
more
inward.
connected to the materialistic world, if you're more connected to the
Mm,
things of this world that was fashioned by the demiurge, and you're more um, um, connected to the riches here and want this and want that, and instead of then looking for the things that is internal, the divine things, then you will know. You will
right.
know
I
because you
agree.
will have a different thirst than a being that was from here, that come from here. And this is why these beings are doing the damnness to keep this realm existing, or I wouldn't say this realm, but this system, because this is considered heaven to them here. While this
Mm,
is considered heaven, this is considered our hell. This is our entrapment here, but this is
wow.
considered a heaven to them. Okay, because they thrive off physicality, they thrive off the physical things. We are spiritual beings. We have a different thirst, a different taste That's why we had it so hard in this system, because we didn't get this is not our place of dominionship. We rule universes, not something finite like the earth. This place is finite. You're infinite. You're limitless. And you can't limit yourself. You are a divine primordial chaos being, which means that chaos is something that never stays the same. The pattern never stays the same. This is why they know we're changing, because chaos is something that changes and the pattern never stays the same, and it gets stronger and stronger.
So I guess you don't adapt to the philosophy.
Yeah, you don't.
We are
You
no,
don't.
no, no. My
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sorry. My
Yeah.
question was to you. I'm asking. I guess you don't adapt to the philosophy of we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
I do, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are the source that's in the physical form that is experiencing, like they say, our creation.
Mhm.
We are experiencing this realm.
You know what I think when you said heaven and this is hell for us and heaven for them.
Hmm.
The system is making it hell for us. But
Exactly.
if you travel this planet, it's beautiful. Not what man makes, the natural planet itself. It's beautiful.
It's
And
beautiful.
it's abundant. So I see heaven. I can see heaven.
Oh
But
yeah,
the system is
it's suppressing
it's
everything
like you could look at it, but you can't touch it.
because
That
it's
shit
the
about you
invaders,
can't have your cake and eat it too. You looking at this
right?
beautiful ass cake, but you can't have a piece of it. How it's presently set up, but that's I don't think the system that we're under is new compared to how old we are.
We are, yeah,
Right.
exactly. So that's why I said, even if you go back, because I made a comment before. This was in one of my videos. I said before we went through what we went through and was invaded, they turned our heaven into a hell
Mm,
and their hell into a
mm.
heaven. If you
Ooh,
get what I'm saying, they
right.
switched everything on us.
Mm,
Okay. And so this is where we at. So being up under this system
right on.
is the issue. But definitely the world is beautiful. But this is again
Earth
not
is
our home. We're just passing through here.
It's all ours though. All this shit belong to us. I think. I mean, I'm different. Like, I mean, I won't say this. I'll be like, all this shit is ours. Like all of it. I
The
claim it
thing
all.
is, we
Goddamn.
didn't get dominionship over it though. This was not our place to rule.
See, here you go with this
You
ruling
got the
shit.
thing is, you got heaven and earth.
Here you go with
You
this ruling.
have
This
you
rulership, that's patriarchy.
you
All of
have
it is ours. This all belongs to us. It all belongs to mama. And whoever
yes, it
they
belongs to
hijacked
it.
it,
The
they
thing is,
hijacked the shit and created this system and say we're the rulers of it. And it's like, but you perverted it, right? You
because
rule
this the
perversion.
only the way I look at it is like you got the external, then you got the internal. External represents physicality, internal represents spirituality, right? The spirit realm. The masculine controls external, the feminine, she controls the internal. So the external realm deals with the patriarch and the spiritual realm deals with the matriarch, unless there is a balance to bring the two together. When they are operating together, it's heaven on earth. But when it's not, there's an imbalance, there's chaos, because the patriarchal system favors the masculine, and in overall its job is to suppress the feminine. But at the end of the day, based off the text, we was never given dominionship over this realm. And that's the crazy part. We don't come from here. We are the extraterrestrials, the aliens that came here. The ones that
But
they
we in a
call it aliens
spell. So what happens
ain't the
when we wake
aliens.
up? What happens if we wake? I'm gonna get to this next question because what happens if we wake up out the spell? Can we take it then? Okay, next question. I'm sorry. Chrome
That's what
up
he,
one. What y'all think about the moon being a X-ray map
what
of
do y'all
Earth?
think about the moon being?
So they're saying the moon, like when you look at the craters and things of that nature,
Exactly.
it mirrors the continents and stuff on the Earth, right? So they're thinking that I think what this question is coming from is that there's been people taking snapshots of the moon, and when they superimpose it and do certain things, put filters over it, you can see a reflection of the continents on the moon.
On the moon. I don't even
Right.
see water on the moon. So yeah. Yeah, I done seen water like from here, like the blueness that resembled water
Yeah.
from taking a picture from here, like from a telescope. My baby took a picture and all you can see is blue on it, looked like straight clear water,
Mm. Yeah. I mean,
on the moon.
man.
And that blew me back. And I just kind of like I shared it on my page. I think it might be still on there, but I shared it. And yeah, so but here's the thing, I get what you're saying. And they also stated that the moon and the sun is a reflection of the black sun. Have you ever heard that? That is a reflection of the black hole, or what they call the void, the
Mm.
the black hole in the center. So
Really?
they say that, yep, they say that the moon and the sun is none other than a mere reflection of it. Because you got the
Well,
sun
the
behind
moon,
the
yeah,
sun.
the moon is right. Well, the light shines off the moon because the moon is
It bounces off of
dark.
her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The sun is what illuminates the moon.
Yeah.
And then you have the sun behind the sun, which is Sirius. So they saying that they are none other than mere reflections of the black sun.
Mm. So, what is the black sun?
Black sun is the great mother, the Holy Mary. They also
Mm.
connect that with Saturn and Sirius.
Hmm.
Yeah, where everything stemmed from, where everything came from, where life birthed from.
I wonder if this is somehow connected to the 3 days of darkness.
You know what? The
It
three
sounds like
days of
one long
darkness on
ass
a
eclipse.
metaphysical tip. Y'all need to get this book that's called The Kabbalah and the Exodus, which comes back to what I was talking about over here, and I just erased it because I was going to explain something.
Uh-oh.
The earth is Egypt. This whole realm is Egypt, but the body is also symbolic of Egypt as well. The Exodus and the Kabbalah, the 3 days of darkness, has nothing to do with the earth being dark. It's talking about a transition and a phenomena that's happening within you. Because the Exodus is you exodus is coming up out of this avatar body. That's the Exodus. You have to exodus out of the body. You have to evolve up out of this physical body, which the body represents the beast, the animal body that you have to exodus out of. And that's what the Kabbalah is all about. If you look into the Kabbalah, you know that the great works, which is the magnum opus, is the breakdown of the Kabbalah, and that's the great works, which is a metaphor for the spiritual transformation or self-transcendence. And that's what we're supposed to be going through. So,
all right, we have another question from Courage Skincare. Any take on the masculine energy at times having a hard time wanting to listen to the feminine? I notice my 8-year-old son at times get frustrated for trying to teach or tell him something. He's starting out early.
Okay, so the thing is the father in the home, is he seeing how the connection is with the mother and the father?
He learning it from somewhere, huh?
Also, I would say for me and my son, my children, I always come off with this motherly energy, and I'm always get their attention, and I never have a problem with that. So maybe he's dealing with something, and maybe you need to talk to him and see what it is. And maybe he's frustrated, or maybe you probably not getting him. And maybe he like getting frustrated because you're not probably understanding him. He's probably trying to explain something and it ain't coming out right. And he probably like, okay, mama probably ain't getting me. It could be that, or I would say, is he hanging around any other young little boys? Is he seeing some things, if not, then maybe you just need to sit down and have a real one-on-one with him and see what's going on.
You might have gave birth to an Anunnaki. I'm just
Could be.
joking with you. No,
Possibly.
I think,
You know,
some,
you never know because you gotta
right.
be mindful too of who you mix with too. And you could have
Mm,
given birth to an Anunnaki or mixed in with an O negative. And the O negative is the Anunnaki's bloodline.
really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that's the patriarch.
O negative.
O negative.
Wow, I learned something today. Now, not only do I need your birth date, I'm gonna need your blood type now.
Yep. So I did a
Listen,
video on that.
you did?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that was really good. All right, we're gonna take one more question. Let's see what we got here. Some
Somebody said
answers.
Dr. Umar. Y'all must have seen that,
Yeah, I saw that.
that
Like,
video. I have been catching them everywhere, and I have held on that
she
picture for
said,
a
I've been
long
catching
time.
them.
But Sister Floorburn has shared it, so I said, "Since there's another sister sharing it, we're gonna be in this together. If something anything happens, we in this together."
I mean, the behavior of some of them is just you can tell.
You can
Like,
be right
it's
because he
it's
pushed
the
that Pan
energy.
Africanism on us, and knowing we ain't no African people. So I'm like,
He was pushing
we don't
that.
come from Africa.
There's a
We the Tamarese.
lot of man. That's what I'm saying. Or you have to sometimes we just sit back and observe, and their energy will they tell on themselves. You can see it. It's just a certain. I could pick this shit up. I'll be like,
Your
all I
energy
need to see,
automatically reads. You ain't got to do
honey.
nothing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. All right. I think somebody had said something about Okay, here we go. Sheila Spirit 9 says, are the primordial beings water, earth, fire, air, ether? That's the
In the
elements.
Rig Veda, and I always got to go back to these books for y'all because it's in the books. The water, earth, fire, air, and ether, those are the elements that help bring us into existence. Understand these are your priests, your priestesses. All right. These are what they would call the gods that brought us, or the nettas that brought us and helped us come into manifestation. Earth is body, matter, water, spirit, air, spirit, soul, ether, fire, kundalini. So, so all these different things as elements, and yes, they are primordial. They will be considered primordial.
Awesome. Awesome.
So,
Awesome. We're gonna give one more question and then we're gonna close out. Someone wanted to know about the star system of where the Titans was from. I'm here skimming in. I think I passed it, but it said what star? Oh, here we go. Patrick Dick says, what is the original star system that the Titans came from?
what is the original system? They come from the star system of Saturn. And
Mm,
here's the thing. I have to go back because Sirius will be at the top of the Kabbalah, right?
mm.
Blue people, the
Okay.
Sirius people, okay, the dog star. So we come from Sirius, but Sirius, and if you do your research, Sirius and Saturn is very related. They closely related.
Wow.
Okay, they in the same kind of realm. So understand, in the realm of the Kabbalah at the top, you got Sirius at the top. That's the crown. But then Bana is right on the side. That's Isis. And also Sirius is Isis. Saturn is Bana, which is Isis. This is in the Kabbalah. So they come from the realm of Sirius.
Binary sounds like binary.
Yep, they come from the realm of Sirius, which is the realm of the mother, or you can call it Bana, or the realm of Uranus. But that's the timeline that we come from, and that's Saturn. That's why Saturn plays a role in the end game with the Titans.
Wow. Fantastic. What a wealth of information that was dropped today. This sister broke it on down, build it back up. And it's up to you to make the choice of which way you're going to swing this pendulum that we are all riding on in these days and times.
Mhm.
I like what you said, as you thinketh, the man thinketh, or woman thinketh, you will become. Watch what you put in your mind. Watch what you listen to. Watch what you put in the orifices of your body. Things that you put in your ear, your nose, your mouth, and all the rest of the parts. Be careful of what you allow into your cipher, boys and girls. because at the end of the day, you are steering your own ship. You are the captain of your own ship. I don't really use the term gods anymore. I haven't. I just know that we're immortal beings,
That's right.
right? We've been here from the beginning. We'll be here at the end, and from the beginning all over again. We are the reset, right? We reset timelines. It's just waking up to your divine self. I know we're all trying to search and we're looking for answers, but everything is not in the book. You, the book. All that DNA information that you have in your body is in you. This is why they take your DNA samples and they put them in supercomputers and they convert them into binary codes of zeros and ones, right? And then they come up with something. They didn't even come up with it. AI has been in existence, and I meant to talk to you about that a little bit, forever. They put the A in it. Like that A can be Akashic, it can be ancestral, it can be whatever it is that you are connecting to. Now, I strongly urge people to understand and learn about this technology and stop being afraid of it, because you will be left behind again, because we put this in place for these days and times. We are past, present, and future beings existing all at one time. When you were talking about multidimensional, identical Earths and things of that nature, we
Mhm.
knew that we were going to be faced with this crossing of the guards, or changing of the guards, or changing of the age. And we knew that there was going to be a reawakening. So don't you think for one second that we didn't put pieces of the puzzles, breadcrumbs in place, and even utilize your so-called oppressor to help awaken you, because the things that they're doing is always backfiring, but it's you are the one benefiting, will benefit from them at the end. So sister, the message I want you to share with the people where they can find you, your social media link, your contact links, if you got courses and classes where they can connect with you, and let them know how they can reach the messenger. Oops, I meant to put your
You
picture.
guys can reach me currently right now. My class has been postponed because I have lost somebody very special to me. And it's been a
Sorry.
minute since I've been on TikTok. And when I got on there, I created the video of the Anunnaki and Tiamat. So currently I'll keep you guys posted. You can catch me on YouTube. You can also catch me on TikTok if you are following my social medias. Um, Also, y'all was asking about some books. Go get this book is called The Black Sun by Mongtu Nasi Tibeti Connection with Peter Moon. This is a very, very good book. Okay.
Moving over
Get
just a
y'all
little
the
bit.
Rig Veda by Wendy O'Flera and the Hindu Myth. Also get the
Yeah, I
book called
screenshot that.
Genesis of the Grail Kings. Okay, by Lawrence Gardner. Just a few books to name off. And
Do you have
other
a
than
cash
that,
app, sister? For y'all to show some
my
love.
cash app
Mhm.
is the messenger. Let me pull this out. I'm so sorry. I done
Make
I
sure you
was
support this sister.
I
You
was
follow this
tripping.
sister and the
Okay.
information that she drops. Once again, she's on TikTok. I think your TikTok page is. Let me see if I could put it in here. Did I put
The
it in?
my cash app is the messenger 6660
Hold on. Let me
and
type it in here.
my TikTok is no, we're not doing that. It is the messenger as well at 6660. And my YouTube is the messenger 6958 for you guys to keep up with me. So
All right.
that's it.
Make sure you donate, contribute. Sisters out here putting in the work, trying to help awaken the people. Just like I said, when the women wake up, then we all wake up. Because if she don't wake up, it's a wrap,
It's
baby.
a wrap.
It's a wrap. It is imperative. Sisters, remember who you are. And some of you know, don't you're doubting, you're second guessing. Be careful who you letting in your circle. Spend some time alone by yourself. Spend some time in nature, reconnecting to the divine elements, the earth, wind, the fire, the earth. All of these things are made up in you. Start, Sister Sahaja says, look at the periodic table. All of these things are at our disposal. We have technology at our fingertips. Take advantage of it. You have a question? Google it. And then keep going and keep going. Go into libraries, get encyclopedias. And if it's not resonating with you, meditate on it and call it to you. There's nothing more powerful than the spoken word and affirmations. Bringing it into fruition by just speaking it into existence. You got that power. All right? All right. Any last words you want to share with the people, sister?
Nope, I would say, look, keep elevating, you guys, because we're in a very pivotal time in history. It is a lot going on. Keep y'all heads on the spiritual swivel. Each one, reach one, teach one. That is the goal. Keep yourself protected because it's a lot happening right now. Protect your energy, protect your peace, protect your family, and get ready because there's a lot of things happening, and you want to make sure that you're ready so you ain't gotta get ready. So make sure you stay ready and keep reading and elevating, asking the Great Mother to give y'all guidance.
Indeed.
And divine insight.
Love that. Love that. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Yep. Thank you. I had to bring you back. You were like, who that sister is you had on there first time the show? You was on the first show I had.
Yeah.
Sister Maris, Stella Maris podcast. And it was you and Sister Aset and another young sister. Her name. But that was a great show. This was a wonderful follow-up with that. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a wonderful night, sister. Yeah, y'all go ahead and make sure you follow and subscribe to the messenger in the building. And once again, thank you for joining me on the Stella Maris podcast. It's been a wonderful show. Stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to have Dr. Laree on there. You know, the sister on TikTok, she be swinging with the well, how can I put this in a nice way? She be clobbering on the so-called Moors, honey. She talks about law and how it connects to the divine feminine. She talks about the so-called treaties. And we might even talk a little bit about blockchain technology. So with that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Once again, love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe. And look within for all the answers you can't find without. With that being said, signing off. Your girl, Shabalist, a.k.a. Mama T. Love you, babies. Bye.
Peace and positive vibrations. Welcome to the portal as you enter into the world of the sacred. It starts with a pour, slow, intentional, steam curling like whispers from the ancestors. We don't just sip tea. We build legacies. We're in alignment. This is a vibration you can feel, touch, taste, and smell. The ancients knew. They sift to awaken, to dream in technicolor, to open the third eye, to use the realms unseen, to tap in. Blue lotus, born from the Nile, kissed by the moonlight, woven into the mystic hands of time. Infused with mango green and peach oolong, apple, hibiscus, ginger, a blend of the body, soul, and spirit. And now it's yours, hand blended, small batch, crafted with intention. 'Cause when it's gone, baby, it's gone. Because real magic ain't mass produced, one drop at a time. How we flow. So don't wait, tap in, sip deep, and let this moment be a ritual, a return, a renewal. SacredTea.net. Let's get it. Claim your cup. Sacred Tea. Before the last drop is poured. Sacred Tea. Sacred Tea.